From my studies, I knew that Geneva was in a southwesterly direction, but as I could not ask directions from strangers, the sun would be my only guide.
The journey was long, and I endured great suffering, but eventually I reached Geneva. From the descriptions in the diary, I located the Frankenstein estate and found a hiding place among the surrounding fields to meditate in what manner I should apply my revenge.
As I waited, a child came running into the recess I'd chosen. An idea seized me.
This little creature is unprejudiced and is too young to have imbibed the horror of deformity. If you can educate him as your companion and friend, you should not be so desolate on this earth.
I jumped out and grabbed the boy.
Hello, child. Yeah! Why are you making this hideous noise? I mean you no harm.
Let me go, monster! I know what you mean to do to me.
What is that?
You wish to tear me to pieces and eat me up.
I do not eat animals.
Let me go. I will tell my papa.
I do not understand why you believe this will help.
My papa is Monsieur Frankenstein. Release me or you'll be sorry.
Frankenstein? Then you are the property of my enemy.
Let me go. Let me go. Papa, 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 papa.
Stop that dreadful noise!
I put my hand over the boy's mouth to stop the abominable noise, but he attempted to eat my hand.
Papa!
Stop struggling! If you promise not to make that noise again, I will release you!
Papa!
Stop!
I placed my hand once more over his mouth to stop this gruesome racket. After a few moments, the boy was silent.
That's better. Now I shall put you down, but you must remain quiet.
I released him, but he just lay on the floor.
Child, I said you can go.
I gave the boy a gentle kick. He did not move. I realized that he must have expired.
If even a child has been taught prejudice, what then is left for me? At least your death will not be a complete waste.
The body was soon discovered, and it led me to a Frankenstein, but it was Alphonse, the father of Victor. The boy was not my creator's son, as I had first surmised, but his brother. I would have longer to wait for our reunion, and to have the opportunity to... But to do what? I wasn't certain anymore. I just felt the desire to find him, for my vengeance. But was that enough now? What after?
You are part of this earth, and must find your place in it.
I had only previously seen my creator at a glance, and had no memory of his appearance, but I somehow knew I would instantly recognize him. The moment finally arrived. I approached. Upon seeing me, instead of withdrawing, he held his ground. I assumed, more in fear than bravery.
You dare to approach me, vile demon?
My creator lunged at me, but I easily evaded his clumsy attack.
I am pleased to see you again as well.
I have no words for you. I will trample you into the dirt where you belong.
He flew at me once more, striking me, but his feeble blow had no effect. I struck him in return, sending him several meters.
Enough! You will listen to me, or I shall turn these hills red with the blood of your remaining friends.
You dare to threaten me, you foul being?
All men hate the wretched. I realize this is my fate, but you spurn me. You who brought me into this world. You owe me a great debt, and I am here to collect.
I owe you nothing, you abhorred fiend. The tortures of hell are too mild a vengeance for your wicked crimes.
Be calm a moment, you foolish man. So, We may talk.
I will not hear you. Begone now and never return, or we must fight until one of us is destroyed.
You wish to die here. For what? To answer for what you have done.
Perhaps I will kill you.
You made me larger, stronger, more powerful than you are. I could crush you without losing as much as a bead of sweat. But I do not wish to be in opposition to you.
So what is it that you want?
Everywhere around me I see bliss, happiness, from which I am irrevocably excluded. I was born benevolent. Misery has made me the fiend you believe me to be.
What do you want?
I will tell you. But first you must listen to my tale and judge me on my actions from the circumstances in which I found myself.
I have no wish to hear your tale, and I have no wish to look upon you a moment more.
You created me. You have a duty to listen. If not a duty, then at least you have a curiosity to know what your creation has done, how I learned to speak, for example.
How did you find me?
I took out and showed him the diary.
Of course, it was in my jacket.
For days I have waited to speak to you, but fear constantly got the better of me. To meet one's creator is indeed a most humbling task.
Very well. I consent to listen to your story.
We sat for several hours as I recounted my story. It drew to an end, and we sat in silence for some time before my creator finally spoke.
You killed him.
You knew that already.
He was innocent.
None are innocent.
He did nothing.
And neither did you.
What?
You deserted me. Accursed man! Why did you form a monster so hideous that even you turn away in disgust? Whatever has passed is on you, and you alone.
I've listened to your tale. What is it that you want?
I want that which you take for granted, but have deprived me of.
What do you want?
I want you to build another creature.
What?
I want to build another creature. A female, a companion.
Another? Like yourself?
This alone you can do. I demand it of you as a right which you must not refuse to concede.
Another whose wickedness might desolate the world? I do refuse, and nothing you can say or do will induce me to change my mind.
I am alone, miserable. Who would associate with me but one who is as deformed and as horrible as myself?
You wish me to reward your malicious actions with a mate?
Malicious? Am I not shunned and hated by all mankind? You, my very creator, abandoned me. And now you wish to tear me to pieces. If you killed me, you would not even call it murder. Human senses are an unsurmountable barrier. If any being felt emotions of benevolence towards me, I should return them 100-fold. For that one creature's sake, I would make peace with the whole world.
But neither of you would be accepted. You would be both shunned by humanity.
If you consent, we shall travel far away. Neither you nor any human being shall ever see us again. I do not share the diet of man. Roots and berries afford me with sufficient nourishment. My companion will be the same. We shall be cut off from all the world, and on that account we shall be more attached to one another.
Did you long for the sympathy of man? How long before you grow weary of this exile and return, seeking once more their kindness? And if once more you again met with their detestations, what then? This time you will have a companion to aid you in destruction.
I swear to you, by the earth on which I inhabit, and by you, my creator, the companion you bestow upon me, I will leave and dwell in even the most savage of places. All my hatred gone, my life will peacefully pass away.
You swear to be harmless, but you have already shown such a degree of malice that I struggle to trust you.
You should understand me better by now by the story I've told you. This will give me the one thing I desire, the one thing you take for granted, the one thing as creator you can give me.
You give your solemn oath to leave Europe and any other place where man dwells and live in exile with your companion?
I do. I swear by the sun and the blue sky and the fire of love that burns in my heart. Grant my wish, and you shall never behold me again.
Very well.
Commence your labours. I shall watch your progress with unutterable anxiety, and will not appear until you are ready.
With that, I disappeared out of sight. My creator wasted several weeks in Geneva on menial tasks and then set off. He appeared to be prepared for a long journey, but I had no way of discovering the destination, so I made certain that I had plenty of provisions.
He travelled first to a city called Strasbourg and met with a man he clearly had a deep acquaintance with. The man, I learned, was an old friend of his called Henry Clerval. They travelled by boat along a river known as the Rhine and arrived in a port city called Rotterdam. From here we set sail. I stowed away amongst the cargo and the rats. The journey was not a long one, and before long we arrived at a mighty city called London.
We stayed several months in this city. My creator began gathering the necessary materials. It was slow work, but I resigned myself to patience, as any interference from me at this point could potentially jeopardize the whole event. Then, one day, he and his companion packed up their belongings and began to head north. Rather than taking a direct route, they meandered through various towns and locations. They separated at Perth. My creator continued alone to an isolated spot on a northern island called Orkney.
He found himself a remote hut. I positioned myself nearby and waited. I cannot be certain how much time passed, but one day, there she lay. My creator stood over her. I quietly waited in the shadows for the birth. But he just stood there and did nothing. I waited a little longer. Still nothing.
Why do you delay?
My creator casually looked at me.
You're not surprised to see me.
No?
Why do you delay?
How long have you been following me?
I have been with you ever since our meeting. Now why do you delay? Finish it! You have given your word.
What am I doing?
What?
I cannot.
You gave your word.
To create such an abomination once, but to repeat the feat.
You'll not rob me of this. You know what I will do if you even attempt.
You will leave? Far, far away, never to be seen again?
I have promised it. No human will ever cast eyes on us again.
3 years ago, I was engaged in the same manner as today. Then I created a fiend whose unparalleled barbarity has destroyed my heart. And now I am about to repeat the feat and create another of whose disposition I am alike ignorant.
This time it will be different. She will not be abandoned. I will be there to guide and educate her.
I believe you to be sincere in your promise.
I am.
But she has made no such promise. She may become 1,000 times as malignant as you and revel in death and destruction. You have sworn to quit humanity, but she has not. She will become reasoning and may refuse to comply with a deal made before her creation.
You will not rob me of this.
You may even hate each other. You already loathe your own form. Perhaps you will loathe her even more. And if she turns from you to man, how would you react then? And what if even worse, together you have children, a race of demons who would propagate upon the earth and make man's very existence precarious and full of terror?
You will not rob me of my future. I will not allow it.
I rushed to the switches. There was a great bolt of electricity, enough to cause the lights to temporarily darken. When I came up, I saw her on the table. My bride. She was alive. Over her, however, stood my treacherous creator. In his hand, he held an axe. I lunged towards him, but could not arrive in time. He plunged the axe into her back and then into her neck. The evil, wicked man had murdered her.
What have you done?
What I had to do.
You promised.
And now I break it.
I dived at him. He swung his axe, which I easily evaded, and struck him, sending him across the room. I took him by his lapels and lifted him into the air. The feeble man tried to strike me, but full of rage, I felt nothing.
Do what you will. I'm powerless to stop you, but at least your hateful form will be the last of its kind.
I have endured toil, misery to be in this place, and you dare destroy my hopes.
I do. I will never again create another like you.
I threw him down and picked up the weapon he'd used to murder my bride.
So, I am to be alone. Every man may find another. Every beast may find their mate, but I must be alone. No, I have the power to make you so wretched that very light of day will be hateful to you.
Your threats do nothing but to confirm my decision. Do as you will. You will never again sway me. I will not set loose upon this earth another demon whose delight is in death and wretchedness. Kill me or leave. The choice is yours.